here with me live in studio. Welcome our town manager, Tom Lynch. Tom, good morning.
How are you, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Did you have a wonderful weekend?
I did. It was a fabulous, nice stretch of time. I enjoyed family, etc. How about yourself?
Well, I saw you at the Thanksgiving Day game, and it was a lot of folks around, and you know, kind of a tight game in the first half. But
yeah.
The Red Raiders came through, and I think they're very excited about winning and moving on to the playoffs.
Absolutely. So. We wish them luck. Of course, they're playing tomorrow night against Lincoln Sudbury. Very exciting, 10-0 for this season.
And yeah, I think they're one of four or five teams that's been undefeated in the whole history of the program. So congratulations to all those players and the coaches and the school itself.
Exactly. So definitely a wonderful game out there on Thursday. So let's talk a little bit of business. What's going on up in your office, Tom?
Well, last week was kind of a funny week. Even though we got things done up through Wednesday, there were vacation time and things like that. But there are some things that are coming to fruition that we've put together. One is today's the deadline for applications for the director of the Department of Public Works, having elevated Mark Ells. That position became available, and we have put a search out, and so those will be in. I've appointed actually the assistant director, Mark Ells, to be on that, head of that search team. We'll have folks from the human resources on there. He's asked different people. There'll be a team of about 5 that'll review them, the applications, and then conduct interviews, and hopefully we'll have that process, finished up in the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Certainly not a small job, as I know our assistant town manager can attest to. Mark led the DPW for a long time. Lots of coordination, just a lot of work involved. So getting the right person in that job, certainly an important thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of skills that you need, because you have to manage all the storms. You have a huge roadway network, you have drainage, you have all those issues are out there, taking care of all of our structures and grounds, naturally, as we just said, the highways, and byways, and so there's a lot of engineering work and other activities that go into that. Plus, you need to be able to articulate the policies of the town before the town council and before various citizen groups. And it's a very big job and an important job in the town. So we want to be very careful in our selection process.
Absolutely. So you said today is the deadline for applications.
Today's the deadline for applications, and I know last week we had quite a few in. So a couple of in-house candidates. We'll take a look at everyone, of course, and see where we go from there.
Great. Well, certainly we'll be eager to find out who gets that job.
That's right.
Certainly. What else going on up there, Tom?
Well, I think we're also finishing up the request for proposals. As you know, we did a request for interest on the Armory. Wanted to see what sort of interest was out there. There were several groups that were interested in that. We've been working now on what the lease conditions would look like. It might seem a little easy to be able to put out a request for proposals, see what people come back with, but you've got to have in there things like if you're going to lease it to a for-profit agency versus a non-profit agency, what the difference might be in the square footage rental, making sure you're covering all the legal aspects to the proposal. So it's taken us a couple of weeks to look through that. But staff has been working very hard on that, and I hope to have that completed by the end of this week and begin to send it out the 1st of December.
Excellent. And I know that, certainly taking a look at the Armory building, there's been a lot of interest in, and a lot of people saying, what are we going to do with that, or what can be done with that? And there's a lot of potential. Of course, it's in our Arts and Culture District. It's close to the harbor, lots, and it's just a big space, lots of potential.
A key property, and you want to be careful about how the redesign would work. But I think basically because of the historic nature of the building, we don't expect any structural changes to the outside, but it needs a lot of work in terms of all of its systems, windows, things like that. But we're going to be very careful to maintain the integrity of the historic nature of JFK's acceptance speech of the presidency there. So that'll be part of the component, but then whatever else goes in terms of arts or culture or any sort of museum activity, we'll want to be sure that we're very careful about how that property is developed.
Surely. So, of course, we talk a lot about grants here in town. We've got some fantastic grant writers on staff. I know the police department gets grants, the senior center, but recently we've heard about a CZM grant. What can you tell me about this?
CZM is Coastal Zone Management, and one of the programs they run is a coastal mitigation program, basically, where they're looking to protect the coastal resources from stormwater runoff or coastal pollution. That would include boat sewerage. We have been working for a while with the commercial boat owners down in the Hyannis Harbor area to put in some sort of permanent pump out situation, and that is kind of a follow-up from the no discharge area that all of the South Cape and Hyannis and Lewis Bay were Nantucket Sound were declared last summer. So the commercial ferry boats, which produce, from the all of the trips that they take, sewage, they can't pump that out when they get out to sea, and they're going to need to be able to be, pumping that out here at the right on our shore side. So we've agreed that we can hook into our sewage, our own sewage system, and bring the sewage up to the treatment facility.
Center.
Yeah. The difficulty is that they also have to convert their boats. They have a saltwater system right now, and they need to go to freshwater system. That's a very costly expense. But I think we all want to be sure that we have clean harbors, clean waters. They're certainly willing to participate in that process, and we're going to. We were able to get about $27,000 in grant money to begin the design and putting together the specs and location and any other aspects that we might need to make that project a reality. So we're very excited to be one of only 6 communities in the Commonwealth to get the grant in this funding round, and we'll start that process and hopefully be able to keep on schedule with that.
Absolutely, and so really it's so important. When we talk about the no discharge zone, of course, a very big step, an important thing to be done to keep the harbors clean here, but you do have to consider, the other side, and that what are you going to do with stuff that potentially had been discharged in the water before.
That's right, and we're all folks are all very conscious of that now. We have our pump out boats, have for years, very successful program in the harbor with recreational boaters. The Steamship Authority and the other commercial entities are now coming on board with this program, so we're excited to participate in that with them.
Absolutely. So of course we're almost at the end of November, getting into December. We're wrapping up the year. Of course, a very busy time for many, and I know the budget process is underway. So can you kind of give us a peek as to where we are in terms of preparing for the next fiscal year? Well,
as you and I have talked, and I'm sure that our viewers are aware that the budget is really a year-round process that we're constantly working on. But we adopted a budget calendar, and we have certain marks that we have to hit along the way, and one of those was that the school superintendent and I would sit down as required and determine on how we would distribute our monies and what percentage. And we've been using a 60 to 40% ratio between schools and municipal over the years. We decided to continue that rather than try to, because that seems to be working very, very well. Now our managers have been working very hard on both the capital budget submissions as well as the operating budget submissions. So we're very close on getting all the capital work in, and then there'll be a whole process for rating that and deciding which capital projects we'll bring to the council. And within the next week they'll be putting together the operating budgets, their operating budget requests, and any additional requests that they might need. So right now, from the information that Mark Milne, our finance director, and I have been talking about, that all of our budget projections are tracking very nicely. So you naturally want to look at in fiscal year 2013 to be sure that the projections you made and the revenues that are coming in are hitting their mark. And so we're always generally try to be accurate and conservative with that, and so thus far that looks very good. I expect modest changes in the budget, but we're not looking for any major changes, but we always look to strengthen the way we deliver our services, and the budget is the document to do that through.
Certainly. Well, Tom, I thank you so much for joining us here live in studio this morning. As always, a pleasure to talk with you.
Very good.
Thanks.